Hello, viewers. Welcome to the second episode of KKC Consulting, where I, your host, Amar, will be delving into different business professionals and asking them various questions about their field. I will be focusing mostly on entrepreneurs, consultants, finance gurus, anything of that sort. And with me today, I actually have an amazing consultant at Arup. His name is Iman, and I'll just pass off the mic to you.
Yeah, man. I think KKC Consulting is a great initiative, Omar.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't think a lot of people at your age are doing this much, so you should be proud of yourself. And yeah, really happy to be on here and happy to answer some questions you may have.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now, personally, I know a lot about you. We've chatted quite a lot.
Yeah, we have.
But the viewers don't. So do you mind just giving a little, tell me about yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Iman Yusuf. I am in the BBA program at the Schulich School of Business. I have 1 year left until I graduate, and I'm looking to pursue a career in consulting. And why I'm looking to pursue a career in consulting, you may ask, it's honestly the diverse nature of the work in the field. I think in consulting, you can work in so many different industries.
Right.
You can do so many different things. As a kid, I used to be interested in everything.
Right.
I used to be like a cosmology nerd, theology nerd. I used to be into physics, even like history, anthropology. I used to love studying so many different things. I never had like a set career path going for me, right?
So you're admitting you're a nerd.
I'm a nerd in a few different things. But when I figured out there's a job where you can literally do so many different things and you keep that same position under your name. Like one day you can work in insurance, the next day you can work in private equity, the next day you can work in fashion and retail, and you're still that same consultant. I was like, this is a dream come true.
Right.
How is this even possible?
Right.
No, that's fair.
And that's actually an amazing thing about consulting.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I've been so like attracted to it in the first place. Just, I don't want to stay doing the exact same thing
100%.
over and over again, which is actually something a lot of the viewers would probably be thinking. Like if you go into business, it's only accounting and bankers, right?
Yeah. That's the stereotype.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I know you kind of touched upon this, but what other reasons, if there were any, as to why you decided to go with consulting?
Yeah, so the end goal for me is always to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
So I think everybody should have a passion and strive to, create something of their own.
Right.
Maybe start their own business, their enterprise, start their own practice, whatever it may be. That's one of my ambitions. I want to see what I like and then pursue like a business or a venture in what I like. And consulting gives you the best base for that.
Right.
Because you, without any industry experience, will not know what industry to enter and what opportunities exist in that industry.
Right.
If you're in consulting, you have exposure to so many different industries. The learning curve in consulting is so high that they expect you to be an expert just 2 weeks into a project.
Right.
You get so acclimated to a specific industry, you know the ins and outs of it. And if it's something you're inclined towards, it's something you can pursue as a business.
Right.
So that's what my exit opportunity is. As somebody who started their own business when they were 17 years old, has started a few other ventures here and there, consulting club, co-founded a nonprofit. I think I'm going to keep that entrepreneurial spirit growing.
Right.
And I think consulting is the best base for that.
Yeah, and that's actually something I wanted to touch upon, actually.
Yeah.
Since we're like going super duper fast, I just wanted to kind of touch upon you finding the 180 Degrees Consulting Club, just giving a little introduction, because I'm sure not many know about it.
Yeah, for sure. So broadly speaking, 180 Degrees Consulting is the largest pro bono consultancy group, university-based pro bono consultancy group. And I kind of started it for numerous different reasons.
Right.
My actual thing is that I joined consulting very late.
Right.
So everyone started in first year. They might have figured it out by second year.
Right.
I was one of the late ones where third year I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. Right. And at that time, people have already done internships at big firms. They've already gained that experience. They've got that, they've gone to all the clubs. I had a lot of trouble getting into a lot of clubs at Schulich. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure like almost every application I dropped, I got rejected from.
Really?
Yeah. Like I did not have any luck. Partly, I'm going to take accountability in it. I didn't network with the right people.
Right.
My application might not have been strong enough. But at that point, when you're dealt a certain set of cards,
you got to play them as
you got to play them as best as you can. It's almost like I took that hand of cards, I shuffled it back into the deck and drew some new ones, right?
Right.
So that's how I saw it. So I was like, you know what? I can make something out of nothing.
Right.
And with 180 Degrees Consulting, I was looking at different clubs to join because the other two that were existing at my school, I wasn't able to get into.
Right.
And I saw this 180 Degrees Consulting Club existed at Schulich in York. But when I went on their IG, they've been like inactive for like months.
Right. Right.
So I was inquiring around. I'm like, what happened to this club, right? And then I figured out that the club, we actually got sanctioned for 1 year. Like we weren't allowed to operate the club for 1 year
Wow.
based on the previous team's performance.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dropping
Oh,
that out there like
crazy.
crazy. Some crazy information. Yeah, you can edit that out, right? But yeah, so we were sanctioned for 1 year.
Right.
And I figured this out because I emailed the global team that heads the 180 branches all across
Right.
the world. There's like 170 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's one in UFT. There's one in
Rockland,
in Waterloo. One in Western. They're everywhere.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, we don't have this club. It used to exist. If I bring it back, there's so many benefits to it.
Right. Exactly.
I saw a lot of people at that time were interested in consulting as well,
Right.
but they didn't have the opportunities, to cater to that interest, to really see what it was about.
Right.
So I was like, if I bring this, I'm not only enhancing my experience and venturing into something new, but I'm also giving students the opportunity to work with nonprofits, and I'm giving nonprofits the opportunity to get tangible solutions from students.
So it's a win-win.
So it's it's mutually beneficial, exactly.
Right.
So it was beneficial for all parties that were going to get involved in it, right?
Right.
Students are doing pro bono work, they're getting experience. Nonprofits, we're actually helping them with real problems that they have,
Right.
right? So they're getting a benefit out of it too. So when I thought, okay, this is like the perfect model, let me bring it into Schulich, right? Or York, if you want to call it that. There were a lot of struggles. There was a lot of trepidation in this process.
Right.
From acquiring a team. Like, mind you, I had no experience at this point.
Right.
And me coming and saying, I want to start a whole club at a
Yeah,
school.
that's crazy.
Some people, like, they wouldn't take it the right way, which is understandable because a person doesn't have any accolades to show for that, right? But those who actually trusted it, who might have known me outside of what I've achieved at the school, were key and integral players into it being established at the university.
Right.
So despite there being a lot of trepidation, a lot of different struggles and challenges, we were able to get it off. It took about 5 months of applications
Wow.
from the global team,
Mhm.
and that was just from 180.
Yeah.
Now we have to do, club applications,
actual thing,
YFS.
yeah.
It was a pain in the ass to try to get to Schulich. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
it took us we actually aren't even Schulich ratified because they said you need to be around for 2-3 years. We need to see your worth
Yeah.
before you can,
No, but it's still like very, very impressive that
Yeah.
essentially what you did was you thought outside the box. As simple as I can put it, you had a set of cards, right?
Mhm.
You started really, really late, and that kind of gives hope to some other years.
Yeah.
maybe
It's never too
third year,
late.
fourth year, yeah, exactly.
You can make your way. Like there's gonna be different paths set,
Right,
but it's not a bad thing to carve out your own.
right.
Right?
And speaking of carving out your own path, I kind of wanted to also touch upon your entrepreneurship ventures,
Yeah.
unless you had something else.
No.
to add
We
into
can
that.
talk about that.
Yeah, so carving out your own path is something a lot of entrepreneurs do, making their own hours, being their own boss, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you actually started with Aish, the very first episode.
Yes.
You started a brand with him. Do you mind going over your journey with that? Any advice you could give any viewers who want to start their own thing, like me included? I wanna
Yeah,
start
for
my
sure.
own stuff.
I think what we saw in that brand was a market opportunity,
Right.
right? We saw a demand in something, right? So it started off a late night text, just randomly an idea pops in my head. Late, it sounds crazy, but that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
It was a very late text. I'm not gonna lie.
You say late night text. Okay, bro. Alright. Okay.
So I messaged Aish. I'm like, let's I have this idea for a clothing brand,
Right.
and I think what we did different from I guess a lot of people who might want to venture into something is we didn't think twice.
Exactly.
We put
yeah.
everything out there, right? We had the vision, we had the idea, and we executed it the next day.
Right.
We started drawing designs.
That's a lot of things that I've seen, like even 100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozy. I've
Yeah.
been reading that. A lot of the problems I see, like not even in the book and just YouTube comments, a lot of people think the best time to start is later, right?
Yeah.
But then I kind of think back to that one quote that if you're planting a tree, the best time to do it was 20 years ago. The second best time is now.
Yeah.
Right? It's a
I
cool
love
quote.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's very
right?
nice. But no, it ties into the fact that, you know, you gotta, if you have something, if you see a vision in something,
Right.
you have to execute on it
Of
like
course.
right away.
You can't expect someone else to do it for you, right?
Yeah, and one thing about me is I'm not that risk averse.
see.
I like to take risks,
Right, right.
and this was a really big risk. We put a lot of money into it. We didn't know the outcome of it. I had no experience in clothing
Right.
or any business.
Something completely new. For
Yeah,
you.
something completely new. But you know, we had things that were innate to us. Like I
Your
personally knew.
curiosity, right?
Yeah, curiosity. I knew how to like market certain things. I knew because I've been on TikTok, I've been on Instagram. I knew,
Right.
you know, what kind of advertisements would resonate, what kind of designs would resonate with the target customer.
You're just
I was the target customer.
right.
Aisha and I were.
addicting. You're addicted to TikTok and Instagram. That's what you're admitting, bro.
Nah, you could word it that way. I don't think that's the right way to word it though. But yeah, you could say, you know, I was on TikTok. I was a target consumer for my
No,
own
that's
brand.
Fair. That's fair.
Right? And when you're deeply passionate about something, at the time I was deeply passionate about the
Right,
show.
Late night texts, very passionate.
Yeah. Swindling it a different way now. But no, I was very, very, very passionate about the show I was watching.
Right.
And you know, people want to represent things that they're passionate about.
Of course.
And I didn't think that was, you know, singular to me. Aish felt the same way, and when we actually started marketing it, so many other people felt the
Right.
same way.
That's great.
They wanted something that was, you know, appeasing and aesthetically pleasing,
Right.
that they could represent, you know, that they held close to their heart.
Because I actually looked over your TikTok page and, mashallah, 700,000 views
Yeah.
off of one reel. And it wasn't anything crazy, but the way you marketed off as just simplistic anime designs,
Yeah.
the idea is that you understood your target audience
Hmm.
and you gave them exactly what they wanted.
Exactly.
And that's something that Alex Hormozi teaches a lot in his books, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you create. If the client doesn't like it, there's no point of it, right?
Exactly. The way that's a very, very good point.
Right.
Because, you know, you're catering to a customer's needs.
Right, right.
And the fact that I was one of the main customers of the
Right.
T-shirt, I fit into the target demographic perfectly.
right,
So the way I liked it, I designed it that way,
right.
and other people, I'm sure, you know, were consistent with that.
This is just a fancy way of saying you're a weeb, bro.
I was what?
A weeb.
Oh, this guy's roasting me the whole podcast. No, I'm playing. Yeah, I was a weeb. I'll be honest. I was very passionate.
Brother's like, I'm very passionate about anime.
Yeah, I was. Okay, at the time, I was young, man.
No, that's
I was
fair.
passionate
That's fair,
about
that's
it.
fair.
So I wanted to make something. I'm like, I
No,
want
that's
to
good,
rock
right?
this.
That's good. That's
And
good.
if I put so much effort because I want it to be nice for myself, that effort translates, and other people see the effort,
Right.
and they also resonate with it.
No, but that's genuinely, like, I promise you, that's something I respect about you. That you were a consumer for something, but you decided, why don't I just become a distributor of that?
Yeah,
Right? And you
100%.
switch that up. And I mean, mashallah, 700,000 views. That's not something less on TikTok. If
Thank
I
you.
created a reel
Jazakallah
today,
khair.
I'd get like maximum 2K views, right?
No. You're downplaying yourself.
No.
You're better than that, bro. Trust me.
But like, anyway, just 700,000 in general
Yeah.
is considered something amazing. And
No, jazakallah khair. Thank you, brother.
do you, wayakum, sorry. And do you mind just leading us through the whole, not the whole process, but like a simplistic overview of the steps you took, any like little adversities that you faced, anything
Yeah.
of that nature?
Yeah. One thing that I learned from the process is nothing goes to plan.
Ah,
Not
exactly. Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing will go to
Yeah,
plan, and you have to set up contingencies for when those things happen.
Mhm,
A lot of it is thinking on your feet, especially when you're new.
mhm.
A lot of it is thinking on your feet. But the best thing is don't get overwhelmed by it. It
Yeah.
happens to everybody. One more thing I'll say is don't burn any bridges. Early on, like we were speaking to a lot of distributors for clothing, and maybe a slight attitude change or you know, a slight distaste towards a person might cause us to sacrifice the business relationship.
I see.
The business relationship is important,
Right.
right? It's good that you have good rapport with a lot of different people,
Right.
because then your name spreads,
Right.
and you know you have a brand that you're associated with,
It's
and
kind of
that's
like
that.
coffee chats as well, right?
Yeah, you have to have a good reputation.
Mhm, exactly.
So it's not good to burn any bridges. You know, be as diplomatic as possible with everybody. That being said, like, you know, just go in and do what you like.
Of course, no, that's something fabulous. You know, just going over the whole extracurricular lifestyle, and then on top of that, you founded a club, made your own e-commerce brand, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, I kind of wanted to dive into some of the other things you did outside of it related to, I mean, Islam.
Okay.
Right? and your whole experience with that, because I know you volunteered at some places, and I'm pretty sure for an organization, the name's just not at the top of my head.
Yeah. The Ajna Welfare Society.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So just your experience with that and how that shaped your, your view as a university student in Schulich.
Yeah,
and
for
as
sure.
an up and coming Muslim as well, because many of our viewers are Muslims as well.
Yeah. I mean, even for the non-Muslim viewers, like, this could also relate to you as well. But I think like every single decision that I make is predicated, on like my religious intuition.
Right.
Like everything that, like, let's say there's a certain job, like Aisha and I, who was on the first episode, we wouldn't
Right.
apply to certain jobs because, of the scope of the work, right? Like,
I see.
for example, a bank job, because it's prohibited for
Right.
us to, deal with interest,
Right.
we would stay away from those jobs. Every
Mashallah,
single
yeah.
thing, like, religion is not something specific to just worship
It's a
or being
lifestyle.
like good. Yeah, it's in everything. Like, that's
Right.
how we see it, right?
Right. And that's important because it carries on with you over and over again, right?
Yeah, 100%.
There was this actual one coffee chat that I had. I won't name drop, but essentially the only reason he spoke to me was because I said "Salaam alaikum" as my first
Yeah.
word and reaching out to him.
It's a brotherhood, right?
Yeah,
And religion is like it gives you discipline. It keeps
Right.
you grounded,
of course.
right? And some people might have that discipline in other ways. They might go on 5 a.m. runs. They might engage in meditation. Whatever it may be, you need something spiritual to lift the burden off your shoulders
Right.
and keep you grounded.
Right.
Because this world comes with a lot of adversity.
Exactly. And like, to be honest, even with the whole grind lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people look into the pathway of work hard, play hard, right?
Yeah.
And I do agree with that to some extent, but sometimes the whole play hard, it's just too much.
It's too much about me.
Exactly.
It's too much
more
about
like-
me.
There's this one quote I actually really, really love.
Yes.
Anyone who says that money doesn't buy happiness hasn't given away enough of it.
Okay, that's deep.
Right? It is.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's something that I really, really like because
Mhm.
even just donating, just helping out, giving your time, your biggest asset. away.
Yeah, it's motivational.
Right. Exactly.
And one thing about like, I guess a lot of young professionals who might be watching this, it's really easy to get caught up in the prestige of things, the
Exactly.
money
Right.
aspect, how you're going to be respected by your peers if you achieve a certain accolade.
Right.
But we need to understand that we're doing this for a specific reason.
A better reason. Yeah.
A better reason, a more impactful reason. We're not just doing it for me, right?
Right.
We're doing it, for everybody.
Right.
To acquire as many resources as you can,
Right.
to acquire as many expertise and knowledge and networks as you can, to actually build something and create something for the future.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And one thing about it is it doesn't have to start later.
Mhm.
A lot of people will say, when I'm 30, I'm going to donate this, I'm going to build wells here.
Hmm.
That was the whole point of the nonprofit.
Right.
There's something we can do now with, albeit limited expertise, limited networks, and limited skills to still make an impact.
Of course, and that's something that's really important. I actually have a friend. He's going to another university, but he encompasses with the same ideas in terms of work now, don't
Yeah.
put it off for later. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
that's something that a lot of people, even I personally struggled with, right? Like even with my clothing brand, I'll be honest. The beginning I was like super, and then
Yeah.
later on it just got a bit harder, and then
Mhm.
talking to manufacturers in China, Pakistan. all
Yeah,
that.
it gets hard,
Right?
100%.
But then to be able to stay grounded, to like have that discipline, to keep going, keep
For sure.
reaching out, and then having that why set up, that's so important.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that purpose, you're not gonna get very far in life.
Exactly. Because if you're doing it for something prestigious, if you're doing it for monetary
Right?
benefit,
Exactly. You're gonna.
once you
reach that.
get it, you feel empty.
Right.
There's nothing after that. You just have to keep chasing more and more.
Right.
But if you have that motivation, that purpose, that impact associated with why you're doing everything, it gives a lot more meaning to
Right.
everything. Do you
I
know what I'm
was
saying?
actually watching a podcast by Diary of the CEO, right? And I brought him up a lot, but Alex Hermosi, he was speaking about how he followed his dad's pathway, right? Like
Mhm.
go university, go like become a consultant.
Yeah.
He was like at the top of the ladder in terms of what he could do in the corporate world, right?
Yep.
But he just personally didn't feel fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
He achieved everything his dad wanted. He was like, alhamdulillah, doing really well.
Uh-huh.
He was status, everything. His dad was super proud of
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
right? The problem was that after he achieved those goals, there was nothing more. right?
Exactly.
And having that ability to achieve more and being able to look up and see, oh wow, I got a lot more to do, right?
Uh-huh.
That's what keeps you going, keeps you competitive. And then that's when he decided to do the switch from consulting, left that completely, just
Okay.
went into entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. Honestly, you can't consult for that long, right? But
Right.
yeah, and like in any professional field, in the corporate world, in university, it's almost like it's every man for himself.
Right.
But like you could
Or
be a
woman.
breaker for change,
Or a woman,
or
for
woman.
instance.
Every
Yeah.
man or woman for themselves, right? But honestly, like one thing that our religion teaches us is that you should love for your brother what you love for yourself,
Exactly.
and it teaches us to benefit others.
It's
So in a world that's so like self-centered
about me,
about me, right?
Mm.
It's always good to think about others.
Right.
The best of you is those who are the most benefit to others.
Right.
And these are sayings from our prophet,
Right.
peace be upon him,
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yeah.
right? So what it's so easy to get caught up by I want to achieve this.
Right.
Like let's say I know something about a position,
Right.
right? Like a new job opportunity that opened up.
Right.
And I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to share it with my friends
Yeah.
because I want to limit the competition."
Yeah, there's no point in gatekeeping, right?
There's no point in gatekeeping. Whatever's destined for you is going to get to you,
right.
right? So you sharing or you not sharing, it's in the hands of God.
Right.
So regardless, we should love for our brothers what we love for ourselves.
Right.
If that me sharing that position is going to benefit him in a certain way, then why not?
Right. And that's something else that's super important that I learned, right? Like speaking to older people, this is the whole reason I started the podcast, because older people always have more advice, right? Like,
You seem to have some pretty good advice, but I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate it, but I'm always learning, right?
Yeah, for sure. We
And-
all are.
Yeah, and now I forgot my point because you interrupted me.
Okay, I'll let you land, bro. My bad.
No, that's all good. Let me think. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying was that helping others.
Yeah.
That's something so important, and helping others without expecting
Yeah.
gain from
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
right?
it's 100%.
There's so many people like you and Aish, for example. You two have helped me with some of my personal problems, and why would you care? Like if I was in your position, stupid 17-year-old asking me for help, why the hell would I help them? Right?
Not like
But then
that.
you guys helping me, that means a lot. In
Yeah,
terms of
yeah, yeah, for sure.
always being able to help out, reach out to others if they really need help. Then that brotherhood is something really, really looked upon in Islam as well.
Yeah, and you don't need to just help Muslims. Just try
Yeah,
to help
just
everybody.
everyone, exactly.
Yeah, just be a benefit to everyone.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So that's one thing that I've noticed. Like if I was to give one piece of advice, right?
Yeah, probably should have asked that, but yeah.
Nah, it's all good. Like it's not just about yourself. So
Right. And then to kind of wrap up, because we're approaching our time limit, apologize for that. But looking ahead, where do you see your career going? Final question.
yeah, I'm gonna keep this one short, but I wanna. I say this. I don't know how far I'll get, but we want to make the most impact that we can.
Dream big.
Dream big,
Mm.
and we're talking impact in the amount of social help, like the social work we can do.
Right.
We want to be a voice for the people who don't have a voice. So whatever means we need to take to get there, whether it's
Right.
being an entrepreneur, a lawyer, a healthcare professional, we want to do that.
Right.
So I want to see myself as someone being a benefactor to that purpose and
Right, right.
cause.
Shoot for the moon, reach the stars. Right?
Exactly. So as long as I'm able to make an impact, a positive impact sometime in the future, khalas,
Right.
right?
And that's something that's super important, right? And with that, I guess we kind of talked about all the questions. And I really do appreciate you for, giving your time. I'm sorry it kind of got a bit cut. It's
No worries.
getting a bit late. The security guard's getting angry.
It's
But
all good.
in terms of that, thank you very much for all your time. I
Oh
hope
man,
you guys
thank you
learned.
for bringing me on. It's a pleasure, and I
No
hope
worries.
this benefits someone in one way or another.
Of course, of course. No, thank you very much. And thank you, viewers. I hope you guys learned a lot from this. And hopefully I'll see you in episode 3.